Hi there, welcome to this tutorial for the ukulele play-alongs of Nice to Meet You as recorded by Myles Smith that you can find on the Uke Play-alongs channel on YouTube. In this video, first of all, we'll talk about the chords you need to play the song on GCEA ukulele. Then we'll talk about the chords you need to play the song on baritone DGBE ukulele. And then we'll talk about strumming. If you want to support the work that I do here on YouTube and in the ukulele world, there are three things you can do. First of all, you can like this video. Second, you can subscribe to my two YouTube channels, the Uke Play-alongs channel and the UkeStuff channel. And third, you can always support me by making a direct donation at buymeacoffee.com/UkeStuff or here on YouTube. All right, let's begin with the chords you need to play the song on GCEA soprano, concert, or tenor ukulele. First of all, we'll need an E minor chord. I call that the waterfall chord when I'm teaching it to my students. So the first finger goes on the first string, second fret, and the other two fingers just waterfall down, and the fourth string can be open. That's really good on GCEA, what we call re-entrant ukulele, where the G comes in and then the C. If you have something called a linear tuned ukulele or a low G ukulele, you might actually want to use a four-finger chord there. The first finger plays the first string, second fret. The second finger plays the second string, third fret. The ring finger plays the fourth string, fourth fret, and the pinky comes in and plays the third string, fourth fret. The next chord is the C chord, one of the easiest chords on GC ukulele. Then the G chord. When I teach ukulele to my students, G chord is one of the harder chords for them. Here are some tips. First of all, fingers 1 and 2 come down first, and the first finger is closer to me. A lot of students want to flip those around. First finger goes on the third string, second fret, and the second finger goes on the first string, second fret. And when I make the G chord, even today, those two plant first. So if you watch my hands when I play, and if you would slow down my hands, you would see I put down fingers 1 and 2 and then 3, even though it's super fast at this point, right? And then the ring finger comes in and plays between them on the second string, third fret. Then you've got the D chord, and the D chord is a little tricky because you have choices here. There are really 4 or 5 ways you can successfully play the D chord. A couple of them are very similar to each other. So the first one is the one that shows in all the books where they put fingers 1, 2, and 3 in a row on strings 4, 3, and 2 at the second fret. I don't like that generally because I've got men's-sized large hands. They're not giant hands, but they're men's-sized large, and sometimes that's a little hard to fit on the fretboard, especially if I'm playing a soprano or something. So what I have done forever is I play a variation of that where I put my first finger at the top of the third string, second fret. So I'm making a really tiny G7 chord basically. Then my second finger reaches over and plays the fourth string, second fret. My ring finger plays the second string, second fret. But with that tiny little thing there, I can get all my fingers in there. Then I can also switch to some other chords down the road. That's the other benefit. So if I want to play, for example, an A chord, I just have to move one finger up and then one finger off. Or if I want to play the F sharp minor, I just have to move up one finger. And those are chords that when you play the D chord, you often go to. So there are some benefits to that. Another thing you can do is you can cover strings 4 and 3 with one finger and play string 2 with the second finger. You can also bend your finger like this, and you can play strings 4, 3, and 2 and leave the first string open. There are also some people who want to play it sort of like 1, 2, 3 in a row, but they use fingers 2, 3, and 4. Really, it's whatever works best for you. There's not one right answer. The one thing I do tell students, because they figure it out, is that they realize that they cover it with their thumb. They can do that chord like that, but the problem is it's a weird thing to do with your body and your arm. And then if you need to change other chords quickly, that's really hard to do. So just don't use your thumb to do that if you can avoid it. And those are the 4 chords you need to play Nice to Meet You by Myles Smith on GCEA ukulele. Now let's talk about baritone ukulele. All right, here are the chords you need to play Nice to Meet You by Myles Smith on baritone DGBE ukulele. You'll need the E minor chord, a C chord, a G chord, and the D chord. And those are the chords you need to play. Nice to Meet You by Myles Smith on baritone DGBE ukulele. Now let's talk about strumming. Now, as it comes to strumming, the warning that I often make is there was no ukulele used in the original version of this song, so therefore there is not a single right answer about what is the correct strum to use. People are always so worried about that. I mean, it's the number one question that I get on the YouTube channels, and I delete it because I've got some facts about it, and I talk about it in every one of these tutorial videos. You can approximate a strum, but you probably can never completely replicate it because it's being played by a human, and humans make mistakes, and occasionally they might drop part of a strum or something in a song. The best thing to do is to realize that there are 3 rules when it comes to strumming and to follow those rules and be happy with your results. Here are the 3 rules. Number 1, play the right chord at the right time. Number 2, keep a steady tempo, either with the recording or by yourself. And third, whatever you're strumming, as long as it matches the style of the music, you're good. If you play something that doesn't match, then there's a problem. But so much can be done and so much can be simplified. You don't have to play an exact strum. This is your cover of the song, even if you're playing along with it. So don't get caught up in the right strum. Be more concerned about playing the right chord at the right time, having a steady tempo, and that whatever you are playing matches the style of the music. Now, that all said, let me tell you what I hear happening as the guitar is strumming. Sometimes the guitar in the original recording, which is in F minor, by the way, holds that F minor chord for the entire chord change sequence while the band changes chords. We're not going to do that. We're going to play along with the band and the bass and everything else there. So here's what I hear. Here's what the guitar is generally doing. It's going down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. If you notice a couple things. First of all, strumming should be, for most people, pointer finger pointing at yourself, pointing at the ground, and playing where the body meets the neck of the instrument, not over the sound hole. And it's generally in the wrist because the arm is holding down the ukulele. Most of the action is in the wrist. That's where it's going. And you go down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Like that. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that will work really well until the very end of the song where you'll just want to play single strums. When I play a single strum, I usually use my thumb because I can control it so much. I don't get that control with my pointer finger on a single strum. Yeah, so I use my thumb on those single strums. And with those chords and that strumming pattern, that's all you need to do to play Nice to Meet You by Myles Smith, along with the play along that you can find on the Uke Play Alongs channel on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.